If you think your money is sitting safe and sound in the bank's digital vault this weekend, you need to wake up right now. A massive shift is coming. It is not a ripple. It is a financial tsunami triggered from the highest corridors of power in Washington and Mar-a-Lago. Welcome back to Economy Echoes, the only channel where we dare to look the beast in the eye. We expose the truth about the money flow that the elites are desperately trying to hide from you. I am not here to fearmonger. I am here because the financial safety of your family is under direct threat. As we speak, a cold chill is sweeping through Wall Street. Bank CEOs are making frantic calls. Why? Because a shadow order, I repeat, an unprecedented directive allegedly originating from Donald Trump's economic transition team is about to take effect. They call it the new rule of survival. And this rule is set to filter through the U.S. banking system the moment the opening bell rings this coming Monday. But before I reveal the explosive details of this order and exactly why, with my 20 years of market analysis experience, I am urging you to wait until Tuesday before you make any major financial move. I need you to do one thing. Right now, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Do not be a bystander in your own financial demise. Join this community of awake Americans. One click ensures you are the first to get the warning, not the last one, reading the news after your 401 has already evaporated. Like and share this video if you believe the American people deserve the truth. Thank you. Now, let's cut through the noise. What is Trump's order? The mainstream media is intentionally ignoring this. They are too busy with celebrity gossip and surface-level political theater. But if you look at the raw data, if you track the capital flight leaving regional banks in the last 48 hours, you see a completely different picture. A power transfer is happening. Trump's team is not hiding their intention to bring the Federal Reserve to heel and force the banking system to serve domestic production again, rather than just being a casino for globalist speculation. This Monday is not just another start to the week. It marks the deadline where a series of old Fed liquidity backstops for failing banks officially expire, or are being replaced by much stricter capital requirements pushed by the incoming administration's advisors. Do you remember the BTFP, the Bank Term Funding Program? That life raft has kept zombie banks alive for a year. It is being pulled. And simultaneously, signals from Mar-a-Lago regarding the dismantling of Basel III regulations are creating a double shock. The big banks are hoarding cash. They are tightening credit. They are preparing for a purge. And when the great white sharks of Wall Street start to panic, where do the little fish, your savings accounts, your retirement funds fit into this food chain? The question you must ask is, why Monday? And why is this new banking rule so dangerous that I have to warn you to wait? We are standing on the precipice of a manufactured liquidity crisis, a crisis designed to reset the board. And if you make the wrong move on Monday morning, like panic selling or moving cash into the wrong asset, you might be walking right into the trap they have set. So let's peel back the layers of this new banking rule. To understand the gravity of what hits on Monday, you have to understand the artificial life support system that has kept the U.S. economy breathing for the last 12 months. It is called the BTFP, the Bank Term Funding Program. When Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, the Fed panicked. They created this facility to allow banks to swap their underwater bonds assets that had lost 20%, 30% of their value due to rate hikes for fresh cash at face value. It was a bailout by another name. It was free money to hide their insolvency. But here is the order that is shaking the foundations. Sources close to the transition team have leaked that there will be NO extension, NO renewal, and NO new bailout facility to replace it. The mandate is clear: no more zombie banks. This effectively pulls the plug on hundreds of billions of dollars in liquidity. And Monday? Monday is the first business day where the market fully prices in this new reality. Without that Fed backstop, those unrealized losses sitting on bank balance sheets currently estimated at over $600, billions suddenly become very, very real. this is where it gets terrifying for the average depositor. The new rule isn't just about ending a program. It is about enforcing a new capital standard that many mid-sized banks simply cannot meet overnight. We are talking about the banks that hold your mortgages, your small business loans, and your local savings. When the window closes, they have two choices. Raise capital immediately by selling assets at a massive loss, which triggers a stock crash, or freeze withdrawals. You heard me correctly. The order essentially forces banks to prioritize their own survival over your access to liquidity. We saw it in Cyprus, we saw it in Lebanon, and do not think for a second American exceptionalism makes us immune. The mechanism is already in place. It is called a bail-in. Under the Dodd-Frank Act, which is still the law of the land, when a bank fails, they can legally take a portion of unsecured deposits to recapitalize the institution. And guess what? If you have money in the bank above the FDIC limit or even within it, considering the FDIC's own fund is dangerously low, you are an unsecured creditor. So why is Monday the trigger? Because the smart money knows this timeline. The hedge funds, the institutional giants, they don't wait for the official press release. They move on, the rumor of the policy shift. They have spent the weekend positioning themselves. When the markets open, if the liquidity indicators flash red, which they will, because the Fed is being handcuffed by political pressure to stop printing, you could see a silent run. It won't be lines of people around the block. It will be billions of digital dollars moving quietly out of the regional banking system and into the too big to fail giants like JP Morgan, or fleeing the system entirely into hard assets. This capital flight creates a vacuum. And if you try to move your money during the vacuum, you might find your transaction pending indefinitely. Now, the most critical question, why am I telling you to wait until Tuesday? Why not act immediately on Monday morning? This is where strategy separates the survivors from the victims. Monday is going to be the fog of war. When the new rules kick in, the algorithms that run 80% of Wall Street trading will react violently to the sudden change in liquidity metrics. We are likely to see massive volatility. Spreads will widen. Transaction fees on crypto networks could skyrocket. And most importantly, banking portals might experience technical glitches as they struggle to process the surge in activity. If you panic and try to move everything on Monday, you are walking into a minefield. You might sell your assets at the bottom of a flash crash, only to see them rebound 24 hours later. Or you might get your funds stuck in a wire transfer limbo because the clearinghouses are overwhelmed. This is exactly what the order anticipates. They want to flush out the weak hands, the retail investors who act on fear rather than strategy. Tuesday is different. By Tuesday morning, the dust from the initial impact will begin to settle. We will see which banks are still processing withdrawals normally and which ones are invoking emergency clauses to limit access. We will see the true reaction of the bond market, whether yields are spiking uncontrollably or if the Fed has quietly opened a backdoor liquidity window to prevent total systemic collapse. Tuesday gives you clarity. It gives you the data points you need to make a rational decision, not an emotional one. The order isn't just about breaking the system, it's about reshaping it. Trump's team knows they cannot rebuild the American economy on the foundation of a debt-addicted banking sector. They need a controlled demolition. Monday is the detonation. Tuesday is when we survey the damage and start rebuilding. But rebuilding requires capital. And if you lose yours in the Monday chaos, you have nothing left to rebuild with. So here is the tactical playbook for the next 48 hours. Do not log into your bank account every 5 minutes. It only feeds your anxiety. Instead, watch the specific indicators I'm about to tell you. Watch the 10-year Treasury yield. If it shoots above 4.5% on Monday, the bond market is rebelling against the new capital rules. Watch the price of regional bank stocks, KRE ETF. If they plummet while the big banks stay flat, the consolidation, the eating of the little fish has begun. And watch gold. Gold is the only asset that doesn't care about the new banking rule. It has no counterparty risk. It is not a liability on someone else's balance sheet. While the dollar fights for its life on Monday, gold will likely be doing what it has done for 5,000 years, holding its value while paper promises burn. But even with gold, don't buy into the Monday spike. Wait for the manipulation to play out. Wait for the paper price to be smashed down by the bullion banks trying to cover their shorts. That dip, that is your entry point on Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, we are entering uncharted territory. The old rules of the game are being rewritten, and the ink is barely dry. This order, whether it comes in the form of a press release on Monday morning or a quiet, suffocating squeeze on liquidity, is designed to separate the prepared from the oblivious. The elites have their lifeboats. They have their offshore accounts, their physical gold vaults, and their insider knowledge. What do you have? You have this warning, and you have the next 48 hours to steal your mind. The new banking rule effective Monday isn't just a policy tweak, it's a declaration that the era of easy money and consequence-free banking is over. But remember, in every crisis, wealth is never destroyed. It is merely transferred. It moves from the impatient to the patient, from the fearful to the strategic, from those who trust the system blindly to those who verify everything. By waiting until Tuesday, you are refusing to be part of the panic herd. You are choosing to be the predator, not the prey. I want you to look at your financial plan this weekend, not with fear, but with cold, hard logic. Do you have cash on hand for emergencies? Do you have exposure to real assets like gold and silver that cannot be debased by a politician's signature? If the answer is no, then let this be your wake-up call. The storm is here. The order has been given. Monday is the test. Tuesday is the verdict. Stay vigilant, stay liquid, and most importantly, stay free. I will be monitoring the markets minute by minute as this unfolds. My next video will be a specialized emergency update the moment we confirm the first bank failure or policy shift on Monday. You do not want to miss that. So make sure you are subscribed. Until then, keep your powder dry. This is Economy Echoes, signing off.